The hungry antics of Max the monster. It was another typical day on the bright yellow star of Alpha Leporis, and the rude monster family was gathered around the dinner table. As usual, their mischievous son Max was being his usual troublesome self, complaining about the food and making a scene. I don't want to eat this disgusting slime again," Max whined, his big purple nose scrunching up in disgust. "Can't we have something more exciting, like human snacks or something?" His mother, the head rude monster, glared at him with her sharp fangs bared. "Quiet, you ungrateful little beast," she snapped. "This is perfectly good monster food, and you're going to eat it whether you like it or not." But Max wasn't having it. He crossed his arms over his chest and pouted, his eyes narrowing defiantly. "No way. I'm starving, and this stuff is gross. I want something else." The other members of the family exchanged exasperated glances, used to Max's constant complaints and demands. His father, a gruff and imposing monster, slammed his fist on the table, causing the dishes to rattle. "When you learn to eat what's put in front of you, then you can have something else," he growled. "But until then, you're going to sit here and finish your dinner, or else." Max knew better than to argue with his father when he was in this kind of mood. Reluctantly, he picked up his spoon and began to slowly shovel the slimy green food into his mouth, his expression one of pure disgust. But as he ate, his thoughts began to wander. He couldn't help but think about all the delicious human snacks he had seen on his previous missions to Earth, the chocolate bars, the sugary sodas, the crunchy chips. His stomach rumbled with longing, and he found himself pushing the food around on his plate, rather than actually eating it. Suddenly, an idea struck him. "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm still really hungry," he said, putting on his most innocent expression. "Can I please have a snack after dinner?" His parents exchanged a skeptical glance. "Absolutely not," his mother said sternly. "You haven't even finished your dinner yet, and you're already begging for more. Enough is enough, Max." Max's shoulders slumped in defeat, but he wasn't about to give up that easily. As soon as his family's backs were turned, he quickly snatched a few pieces of the slimy food and shoved them into his pockets, planning to sneak them out later. When dinner was finally over, Max waited until his family had left the room, then dashed to the kitchen, rummaging through the cabinets for any human snacks he could find. He managed to sneak a few candy bars and bags of chips, stashing them away in his room for later. As the days passed, Max's obsession with human food only grew. He became increasingly disruptive during mealtimes, constantly complaining about the monster cuisine and begging for something more exciting. And whenever his family wasn't looking, he would sneak out to his secret stash, indulging in his forbidden treats. His parents, of course, were growing increasingly frustrated with his behavior. They tried everything from scolding to punishments, but nothing seemed to curb Max's insatiable appetite for the forbidden fruits of the human world. In the end, Max's picky eating and constant hunger claims became a constant source of tension in the household. But the thrill of sneaking around and defying his family's rules was just too tempting for the mischievous monster to resist. After all, what was a little food theft compared to the joy of causing chaos and mayhem? And who knows, Maybe one day, Max would finally get to visit Earth again and indulge in all the delicious human snacks he could ever want. Until then, he'd just have to keep on plotting and scheming, always searching for his next sugary, crunchy fix. The end, for now.
He's a monster, monster, hairy, scary monster, doing the hairy, scary monster, but he's a monster.